Greetings, all you Jackson Jennets, and welcome to your daily dose of donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, coming to you with the Steelers Talk, the flagship episode. I got Gingy, I got Laskers, we got shellacked by the Eagles. Who wants to start?
Yeah, I'm muting Gingy here. I'll start. Oh man, I don't want to start, dude. That's a good Eagles football team.
Mm-hmm.
Hats off to them. They're still undefeated, speaking right now. So hats off to them. But poor showing in my opinion. Donkey.
Hashtag we should have paid Javon Hargrave. Laskers, what you thinking?
My hat's off to AJ Brown because after his third touchdown in the first half, that's when I tuned out and realized that we weren't actually going to have any chance to win that game.
Mm, I'm I want to point out a super positive you two seem to be forgetting. The Eagles only ran 2 plays in the red zone. Just gonna put it out there. Only 2.
Yeah, that's not good when they win by 30. They win 35-14.
Yep, I agree. Not good at all, Donkey. Big
13, I
plays, big
guess.
plays. That's the deal with the Steelers defense in general, Donkey. It's a bend but don't break unit. Yeah, you might give up a 70-yard drive, but you let them drive down to the 10 and then they kick a field goal. Teams that score from all sorts of areas on the field, that's what breaks this defense.
I looked at this game much like I looked at the Buffalo game, okay? Yeah, we got our butts kicked, but you know what? Kenny Pickett, till he had to force the ball, looked pretty good in my opinion. So, you look at the positive things. Defense, I don't think I have a single positive thing to say. It's the second highest paid unit in the league, and it doesn't do anything. One player cannot be that important to a unit that has spent that much money and is meant to be that good. I think this is the showing of, and I've been saying it for 5, 6 years, Colbert's been killing this team. He's been signing old vets to big contracts. He's been letting young talent go. Look at Javon Hargrave on Philly. He was better than any player we had on defense. He was a Steeler. We could have kept him. Bud Dupree, another young talent we let go. Look at these young talents that are our early draft picks that we don't retain. And then you see why there's such this big talent gap between us and a team like Philly, between us and a team like Buffalo. When we're wasting first and second round picks on luxury positions that you can find just as much talent late in the draft. I'm talking running backs. I'm talking tight ends. This game to me was the fruition of Kevin Colbert's inability to draft the last decade of his career. I understand TJ Watt was probably the biggest hit we've had in a long time, but I'm talking, the reason we struggled this game was our defensive front couldn't do anything. Our offensive line couldn't do anything. I mean, right there, I could just sum up the game for you right off the bat. The defensive line got no push. The offensive line got ran over. What's the result?
A loss.
Big L.
Exactly. This game falls all onto that for me. I mean, we can break it down all you want. Is A.J. Brown more talented than anyone on our team? Hell yeah. I mean, but let's not talk about their talent, okay? Because let's be honest, Philly's a more talented team than us, right, Gingy?
Yeah.
So when you play a more
Definitely.
talented team, you have to have a better scheme to stop them, right, Laskers?
Oh, 100%. You have to have a good scheme and a better scheme to stop them from scoring like they did.
Why the hell is Terrell Edmonds one-on-one with A.J. Brown?
Not once, but multiple times.
Well, yeah, well, he beat a Kill Witherspoon for his other 2 touchdowns, but neither here nor there. And yeah, he was left in that position multiple times, though, you're right. But this is what I'm saying. The Steelers are the square peg, round hole type of coaching. We're not going to make a scheme that fits you. You're going to play the Steelers scheme. That stuff doesn't work in the modern day NFL. This isn't 1992. You need to adjust your scheme to your players. And you need your playmakers who you're paying big money to, Minka Fitzpatrick, to make plays. Gingy, you're a wide open safety in the back half. How the hell are you ever trying to basket catch a ball? Explain to me why this dude is worth. I'm not saying he's not worth getting paid, But why is he the number 2 paid safety in football if that's the way he goes up for a ball?
I don't know, Donkey. I don't know I wonder what they're saying in the locker room when they review a tape with a guy like that. What do you say?
If you're Najee Harris, you just say, I can't run the ball because the offensive line can't block. Yeah, Jalen Warren averaged, 8 yards a carry last week, Laskers? Is that about right?
Let me get over that tab. 8.3. And Kenny averaged 5.3, just so you know.
This is just a team that's blaming everyone else. It's communication breakdown. It's lack of preparedness. This is week 8 in the NFL. That stuff can't be happening. That stuff needs to be ironed out in the preseason. This is a bad team, talent-wise, that's coached poorly. I don't know. How'd you fix this, Gingy?
Good question, Donkey. I don't know how you fix it. You don't fix it overnight. I'll tell you that way. And there's definitely, a lot of call in Steeler land for Matt Canada's job. Let's not forget here, square peg round hole, right? But is the round hole appropriate? Right? Maybe we need a square hole for the players that we have. Not necessarily, do you know what I'm trying to say, Donk?
That's literally the point.
But here's the deal on that, right? That there's still, even after a coaching change, I'm not certain that the exact talent that we have on the field now is going to produce even much better results, even if you have a Bill Belichick, Andy Reid mind in there.
I don't disagree with you. I think the team still needs to be rebuilt. My bigger problem here is, right now, to me, it looks like we're having Kenny Pickett play a college offense rather than a pro offense, and that's not going to help his development. Are you going to change the scheme much even if you fire Canada? No, but Sullivan could slowly start introducing different plays. And to me, the bigger thing is you could evaluate Sullivan. Is Sullivan a guy who can enhance Kenny Pickett, right? Because right now it looks like Matt Canada cannot enhance Kenny Pickett. Can Matt Sullivan do it? Or Mike Sullivan? Whatever his name is. I might have just said the dang Penguins coach for all I know.
Sullivan, that's all we need to say.
But what I'm saying is, if the Steeler way, if they don't fire Tomlin, the next offensive coordinator is going to be Sullivan, because we don't hire outside the organization. Why not evaluate him now was my whole thing about it. I see they're not going to do it, but I want a coach, and I'm talking both offense and defense, by the way. I want a coach that elevates these guys. It never seems like we play above our talent level. Even when we were good, Gingy, what was always the joke? Man, we're going to lose to a bad team, and we are, because this team is never schematically ready for an opponent. I mean, Charlie Batch and Stan Savran said it best after the game. Because the caller calls in, and you know what he says? How come when the Eagles do these little motion plays, they have receivers running open and all that? And Charlie Batch goes on air and says, well, you see, they have variety in their play calling. When they give you a front, it's not guaranteed what they're going to do because they do different things. When we give you a front, we run the same play this week that we ran last week, that we ran the week before, that we ran week 1. And that's the truth. You know it. I've been talking to you guys about this. As a matter of fact, I got my wife to the point where she can call plays now based off formations. If me and my wife, who never watched football until she started dating me 10 years ago-ish, are calling the plays from our couch, do you think highly paid coordinators don't know how to beat that? And at what point does this fall on Mike Tomlin?
All fair questions to be asked, and these are the questions. Donkey, I was talking earlier. What did I say at the beginning of the season a lot? You got to ride this shit till the bye. I was willing to ride Trubisky till the bye. You know what I mean? But here we are, Donkey, at the bye, at 2-6, and this is your time for reflection on all that shit. You're gonna have to ride this to the end, Donkey.
I hear you. What I'm hoping, and I don't mean this to be mean, because you all know I support Tomlin, but he needs to hire outside the organization. If we keep Tomlin going forward, if this ship doesn't get righted this year, I hope Omar Khan is the biggest guy in terms of hiring outside the organization and bringing in, because I hope he's smart enough to realize that a change clearly needs to happen. Look how far our talent gap is and our coaching gap is to Philadelphia. And for anyone who's like, and is stuck in but what can you do? It could get worse. Philadelphia had a Super Bowl winning coach that they canned, 2 years later?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying. Sometimes you got to take the chance to get in here. And if our next coach, offensive coordinator, unless Canada turns it around, I'm not going to say he can't. Unless Canada turns it around, our next coordinator better come from one of those great coaching trees of offensive minds. Andy Reid, Sean McVay, Kyle Shanahan, one of those type of trees where you have a little bit of innovation would be really nice to see. I don't guarantee that's going to happen. And before we get into bye week stuff, and 2 trades the Steelers made, breaking news, the Steelers made 2 pretty big trades. I want to get on this offense. Deontay Johnson, catch a football, get open. Pat Freiermuth, just make a clutch play. I had nothing to get you this week, but just make a clutch play. That's all I want from you at some point. Najee Harris, if I ever see you dance again, they should fine you your whole damn game check. Get the ball, make 1 cut, go north and south. Jaylen Warren, please start. I hate to say that, but
No, you don't.
You gotta give Jaylen Warren the start. Offensive line, kick it together. How do we have procedure penalties every week on you and holding penalties on you? I mean, they killed drives again. But man, Gingy,
if Jaylen Warren gets the start, I will be shocked.
He needs to
putting that out there. Yeah, if he
There's
does,
no
I will
way
be
he's
shocked.
going to.
That over a first rounder, we're gonna not. We're gonna not.
We need Jaylen.
I'm not saying we
start.
shouldn't. I'm not saying we shouldn't. He's the better back right now. But I'm just saying that's
all I'm gonna say is I called all those guys out. And Gingy, tell me I'm not wrong. I mean, Kenny Pickett played okay. He didn't play great. Claypool throws the only touchdown too. You know what? He earned all $5 million of his paycheck this week. Derek Watt, good job. Way to catch a touchdown.
Woot.
Claypool's been calling out the play calling all year. Claypool has a good game. He was actually physical. He ran people over to get first downs. And how do we reward him? We trade him because we don't want people who call out the coaching staff. We don't want people who show that they're trying. Because let's be honest, he looked like the only receiver trying this week. I'm going to say it. I personally, the only receiver I felt didn't give up was Claypool.
It's felt like that a couple weeks in a row.
And then we trade him. I hope him nothing but the best in Chicago. I really like his skill set. I really hope it works out there for him and Justin Fields. But Gingy, we have a first-round draft pick who, you can say what you want, but the dude had 1 yard on 5 carries through the first half. Is that what it was?
I don't know. It wasn't good.
Yeah, it was quite terrible. Kenny Pickett was leading the team at running at halftime because apparently Kenny Pickett's Lamar Jackson, and he has to throw the ball, catch the ball, and run the ball for this offense to do anything. But not only that, for this offense to kick a field goal, Gingy, we have to convert 4th downs not once, but twice.
Kenny Pickett is a lot Lamar Jackson. I'll tell you that right now. And you know me, Donkey. I'm the first one to get on the anti-Lamar Jackson train, but he ain't that. He might have a better arm, but there's no way he's even remotely got the run talent to be doing what he's doing back there. He's having to do it out of necessity. And Donkey, he's a rookie. He's not Patrick Mahomes right off the rip. He's really not. Can he develop? I think so. He's got the confidence and the poise. I hope he can gain that experience and get them reps with that unit to be able to move forward and him and Pickens and that develop that connection, but overall the guys and it's tough to say there's no veteran guys really, not on that offensive
fifth
squad.
year's about as veteran as we get.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you need the veteran guys to step up, but who are they? Right? And I think that's indicative of why we're having some of the problems that we are.
I'm going to say we're having some of the problems we are because this team can't win at the point of attack. And everyone always wants to say, but look what Ben Roethlisberger did as a rookie quarterback, right? That's always the hate on Kenny Pickett is how successful Ben was as a rookie.
Look at the point of attack that Ben
No, no,
Roethlisberger had.
Simple question I'm going to have. How many times did Ben Roethlisberger be asked to throw the ball more than 30 times in a game?
That early in his career, not very many. When you
His
had
rookie year,
Jerome Bettis?
yeah,
Yeah.
he didn't throw the ball over 30 times a single game. His season high was 28. Kenny Pickett's thrown the ball, 30 times every game? It's a recipe. We're having a recipe for losing. I mean, you talk about the games he actually started and finished. 52 passes, 48 passes, 44 passes, 38 passes. This is a way to lose. And then question 2, how good was the Steelers running game when Ben Roethlisberger was in?
really good.
I'll put it this way.
Pretty solid.
They had at least 100 yards rushing every game Ben Roethlisberger started as a rookie. You want to know
they also had they had a future Hall of Famer and two additional perennial Pro Bowlers on that line.
They did. You're not wrong, Gingy, but I am sick of hearing this comparison of Kenny Pickett should be benched again for Trubisky because he's not performing like Ben Roethlisberger. Well, yeah, because this team's nowhere near that good. Steelers fans, I'm going to say it now. It's the bye week. It's time for reflection. It's time for truth. The truth is, this team stinks. So let's look at positives. But, Gingy, that's what I want to focus on this week. We can talk about the Eagles game more if you guys want. I mean, what's there to say? It was
thank you.
The only thing I got for you is to answer Gingy's question is Najee had 0 yards in the first half.
Oh, that's good. Thanks
rushing.
for adding.
Yeah. He was fantastic. What a first round pick that guy's been.
He had a rush for 1 yard and a rush for -1 yard.
Good.
He did have a 2-yard catch.
I mean, picking him, giving money to Ahkello Witherspoon, bringing in injured Levi Wallace, all these offseason moves have panned off great is all I got to say. The talent level on this team is just not there.
Talk to me about our offseason moves. I know there's one I want to talk about, Donkey.
The only one I want to talk about is Larry Ogunjobi because when he's not broken, he actually plays well. Miles Jack played well the first 5 games. It has been 5 games. Has been terrible the last 3. Ahkello Witherspoon, torched all year. Levi Wallace played okay in 2 games. Has been hurt for 4 or something. I don't even know. Anybody else you want me to talk about? Bringing in Malik Reed. He should be a backup, not starting over TJ Watt, but he's starting over TJ Watt because TJ Watt's injury, obviously not starting over. Starting in place is what I meant there. That's the defense. You want me to go over the offensive offseason moves? James Daniels, our best offensive lineman, and Mason Cole's our second best.
No, Daniels. I was focusing on more of that defensive unit. I have a higher opinion on Jack overall. He's still better than Scobert in that position every game overall, and they're definitely an improvement.
Put on that Philly
Witherspoon
tape and tell me he's even worth starting. I mean, I'm not disagreeing. He was probably our best linebacker for 5 games, but put on last week's tape and tell me he's even worth playing. Like, when we play good teams, he's exposed. There's a reason Jacksonville let him go, and I think you see it there. He does well against the lower talent, but he struggles. He struggled in the Buffalo game. He struggles with the teams that have NFL quality speed, right? He did it against the Jets. He struggles with those teams that are fast.
And that's the type of guy he is. Overall, looking at our recent moves, Donkey. William Jackson, third, yay or nay?
I thought his contract was more guaranteed than it was. I'm not against this. We owe him no money next year. So essentially it's a $3 million tryout for the end of this year, and then he's owed $12 million if we keep him next year. If he doesn't look great, there is zero reason for them not to cut him. It's a $3 million tryout on a team that sucks. But William Jackson, I'm going to say something here. The Pittsburgh Steelers are now your Pittsburgh Pirates. We were infatuated with this dude 5 years ago when he was drafted. He has sucked every year since then, but now he's available, so let's bring him in. That is the most Pittsburgh Pirate thing I have ever seen in my life, Gingy.
That is harsh. Donkey, on a more positive note, we do have a tendency of revitalizing these old DBs from the AFC North, knowing that he's coming not directly from that team, but was drafted by Cincinnati.
First off, Joe Hayden wasn't even 30 when we took him, and by the end, he looked 30. William Jackson is already 30 and hasn't had a good year in his career. Let's start there. Joe Hayden, borderline Hall of Fame first half of his career. William Jackson, shite.
Damn, Donkey. I don't know if it's shite. Is it really shite?
First round draft pick has 5 interceptions in 6 years. Dude, Artie Burns might have 5 interceptions in 6 years, and you know what Steeler fans think about him.
Yeah, I know what I'd think about him too. Donkey, that's scary. That's all very scary.
That's the thing is, we have these rose-colored glasses because last time Steelers fans talked about William Jackson, they were gushing at him in draft talk and how the Bengals stole him from him. And because of that, we got Artie Burns, and they forget to look at William Jackson's stats over his career and be like, wow, that dude really never panned out either, did he?
Yeah, he never really did.
Side note, Gingy, I have a really positive note. Claypool gone for a second rounder makes me sad. Everyone knows what I think about Claypool. I loved his skill set. He brought something the Steelers didn't have. But here's the good news. It's the Bears second rounder and not the Ravens second rounder we get. Chugga chugga win, baby.
Yes.
Artie Burns has four in his career, just so you know.
What?
Oh my.
Artie Burns has 4 interceptions in his career.
And he's missed the last 2 years due to injury, so good for you, Artie. Hey, I thought he was going to be a good cornerback after his rookie year until we started making him play zone, and he realized Artie Burns does not process information fast enough to play zone defense.
Yeah, Donkey, about the draft pick coming in. I don't know. I've talked a lot of smack on Claypool the last few weeks, and honestly, it is still warranted. Looking back at those games, he plays inconsistently. Sometimes he plays small. Sometimes he doesn't play smart. He gets emotional, gets caught up in the moment. There are ups and downs with him. The ups can be super high, but you know what really scares me? Is that we're doing this with multiple wide receivers now. Is that Deontay has all this potential. He's got all these ups. Let's keep him around when we know that there are consistent downs that go with it. And Claypool looks like one of those guys. Like, yeah, he's great, high potential, Hall of Famer, yada yada yada. But he's got to show it on a consistent basis. And you're right. The last, in the Eagles game, he looks like one of the only guys on offense showing up, but it wasn't consistent enough for him to get the bag in Pittsburgh.
You're right, and I'll say this. Claypool is not one of those I create no matter what the situation is. Those guys are rare. I mean, you talk Antonio Brown, you talk A.J. Brown. There's a reason those guys are those guys, right? Because that's what they are. They're a rare talent. Claypool's not that. He's a guy who needs a scheme that works for him. And if you put him in the right scheme, he can be a great, great asset. I'm looking at you, Mike Wallace. You know what I'm talking about. But I don't know, Gingy. I want to leave people here with the positive. That's why I did so negative through this first half. Because let's be honest, the first half of this season is an E. I won't say an F because we won 2 games. So not even an E, a D minus. A D minus, okay? We get TJ Watt back. We have Highsmith up there in the top of the league in sacks. We bring in William Jackson III. Maybe Claypool was this diva prima donna that we've heard some stories about. But then again, we said that about Juju, and he seems to be having no trouble in Kansas City. So I really want to leave the people with something positive, something good. Laskers, what's your something positive to leave the bye week on?
Kenny Pickett, he's looked okay. He still needs some work, but it looks like we might have something there, so that's my positive.
Gingy, I want at least one positive to leave the bye week on, and you can go on a rant as long as you want. You want a 5-minute rant about positiveness? I love it.
Time for the boys to heal up a little bit. I think there's some dings, especially veteran Cam Hayward on the defensive line has been nursing injuries all season. Get guys like maybe Boswell be able to heal up. I don't like him not out there being able to kick. Give guys, like Najee with the Liz Frank injury at the beginning of the season. I know it doesn't show up on any reports, but like that's not something that goes away in 4 weeks, especially if you're playing NFL football on it every week. And so looking at those positives, the other positive I'm thinking about is that the second half of this ride in this season is much easier than the first half of the ride that we took.
That's
So
the truth.
there is some opportunity for some dubs in this half of the season. With all the rankness that we just said about the team, there are much more opportunities for dubs in the second half of the season than there were in the first. Philadelphia, Buffalo. Come on, even at the beginning of the season, we were looking at this schedule thinking,
Jets.
"Oh, the Jets is our win." Yeah, okay, they're 5-2 and in the hunt. Great,
5-3 now.
and but still, a team that comes at it, that no one expects. So the Steelers have had a rough ride riding into this, and what I'm looking at is hopefully some good opportunities for some dubs to build some confidence. Oh, sorry, I'm remiss when I'm talking about guys getting healthy about not talking about TJ. Now, I know that I've said earlier in the season, you don't bring him back. You certainly don't rush him back early.
No.
But I don't think you shelf a guy like him,
I don't think you
What do you
shelf
think?
anyone in the NFL because if you give them a year without contact, that's just a recipe for bad.
Yeah, see what I'm saying? That's a recipe to even be more injury prone coming back. I agree, Donkey.
And
So,
it's
that's what I'm looking at as my positives, though, Donkey. What I just mentioned there, the opportunity for an easier second half and give everybody a little bit of rest and some time to recover.
my positive is going to be this. And it's going to be the work that Omar Khan has done. And this is what I'm talking about. He just acquired more draft capital. And let's look what he's done so far. An undrafted free agent he brings in Jaylen Warren looks like a player. Kenny Pickett, jury's still out, but late in the first round, you get yourself a starting quarterback, the quality of Tony Romo's, Andy Dalton's, when they're playing good. Good pick. So we'll see there. Second round, Pickens looks like he can play a little bit. I'll say that. DeMarvin Leal looked like he could play before he got hurt. So that's 3 draft picks that look good. But more specifically, what I want to talk about with Omar Khan, players he brought in. Mason Cole looks starter quality. James Daniel looks starter quality. Those are the 2 offensive bring-ins he got. And both of them instant upgrades, probably the 2 best players on our offensive line. Defensively, Malik Reed meant to be a backup. I think he looks fine as a backup. Miles Jack, you're right, is an upgrade over Joe Schobert. Thank God he brought back Terrell Edmonds. Hopefully he pays him. And making Cam Sutton a priority to keep is a big idea too. I would love to see a little more of Omar Khan being aggressive, and that's why I think my positive is going to be is we get to evaluate this. And I think this lets Omar Khan see where the weaknesses on this team are. And now that we're going to finally have money, because all the dead money we owed Juju, we owed Ben, we owed Stephon Tuitt is going to come free. And we're going to see some players come out as strengths. We're going to see weaknesses. And I have a good feeling you're going to see Omar Khan attack those weaknesses early and aggressive in free agency. And might I say, the way young talent gets to learn is by playing. And guess what? You said it earlier, Gingy. There's no old people on this offense. These guys have been yelled at. These guys have been done this. Hopefully the coaching staff now holds these guys accountable. And we see an offense, I'm not going to say really get good, but we see an offense firmly become an offense in the second half that scores mid-20s week in, week out.
I need 3 tuts on the board, donkey. 3
Oh,
tuts every week.
TJ Watt's
Here till
good for
Christmas.
about half a touch a week, so that's
No
an
kidding.
improvement right there. Okay, so we do talk AFC North here, not just Steelers. But before we get into the AFC North games, because Cleveland and Pittsburgh both have a bye this week, you guys have anything else you want to say about the Steelers during the bye week?
No.
Better left unset, donkey. Still a second half of the season of football to play. Everybody knows what 2 and 6 looks like.
The first half is just hashtag blame Canada. Gigi, I think you'd appreciate that.
I very much do. Yeah, I'm down with that. Hashtag blame Canada. Let's see what happens from here on out before I render any final judgment.
We got Carolina and Cincy. Laskers, who'd you got?
I got Cincy.
Gingy.
Holy smokes, they're bad, but give me Cincy. Both those teams are bad.
Cincy without Jamar Chase really scares me. PJ Walker's out there gunning it for Carolina. Of course, I got Cincy. We got Baltimore at New Orleans. New
Monday
Orleans
night
just
game,
shut out
too.
Vegas. By the way, my positive for the year, hold on, second positive note before we get into that game. At least we are not the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Los Angeles Rams, Las Vegas Raiders, or Green Bay Packers, where we're at like 3-5 or 2-5 and expected to be in the Super Bowl. So at least we're not them. Or the Denver Broncos. What are they at? Where you
Russell
at, Russ?
Wilson, savior.
Let's ride. Let's ride, Russ. Now he's going to win every
They have
game.
the bye week. I'll have to go find the answer for you.
All right, so we got
Yeah,
Baltimore at New
is there
Orleans. Gigi, who you taking?
Is there tape out there of us wanting Russ in Pittsburgh somewhere? Probably is, donkey. Better delete that.
There's definitely a take of Donkey saying, "The hell we do."
Let's. I gotta go Baltimore. I'm not sold on the consistency of
No,
New Orleans. I'm worried about their offense. Michael Thomas just go on IR.
yeah, you did.
No,
No Red Rocket
me
fan
Bal-
here.
give me Baltimore.
Oh, Laskers.
The Broncos are 3-5, just for everyone's knowledge, and I'm going Baltimore. I just don't trust the Saints.
Yeah, I'm going Baltimore too, and we're gonna head it straight back to Laskers for a shout out because it's that time. Ow.
Oh boy, I really don't have a shout out for the week. Let's give TJ a shout out. Hopefully you come back next week, buddy, because we need you. And hopefully you are healthy and you're not faking the healthiness. That's what we need.
Gingy.
Here. We already talked about it a fair bit, but I do want to wish the final well of Chase Claypool. No hard feelings. Had some good moments. Had some pretty interesting moments. The good, the bad, and the ugly. That's what we'll call that, donkey. Shout out to Chase Claypool. No ill will. Hope that he does well in Chicago.
Gingy stole my original shout out, so I'll go to the other half of the trade block. My shout out's going to be to William Jackson III. Welcome to Steeler Nation. I really hope you are a lot more of a Joe Hayden pickup for us than some other Steeler cornerbacks who never worked out. Take your pick of the litter. I don't really care which ones you want to name. But William Jackson, welcome to the fold. I hope you do good. I hope you play well. I hope you prove that you earn that $12 million the Steelers may or may not owe you next year. Because, hey, it is what it is. I don't wish anyone coming here bad will. I just give you an honest take of what I've seen of him from his career. And I guess it's time now. I gotta let you know, I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking_Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Your daily dose of Donkey with Ginger is a YouTube channel. Leave us a like, follow, subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think. Give us your bye week takes. Because is bye week not the perfect time for a hot take, guys?
Yes.
Here.
And I give hot takes every week, so now I just get to give more of them. That's all fun here. Hashtag blame Canada. Over to Laskers.
It's last year's everywhere, and yep, definitely blame Canada everywhere. Every problem that we have, and maybe some Tomlin
Nah,
hate on that one too,
800% blame Canada. Even the defense blame Canada.
but nope. Give some hate to Tomlin, but Gingy, over to you.
Mutant Gingy in the house. Gingy here. We are playing games. We are talking football with the boys. Holy smokes, Steelers fans. You know what? Don't hear this often from me, but this time, hang them up on the shelves for this week. All right? Keep them nice and warm. It's getting that time. Leaves are hitting the ground. Keep them warm, Steelers fans, because we're headed into a
I got
exciting,
4 inches of snow, Gingy. There ain't no leaves.
I was gonna say,
exciting.
Gingy, I think all the leaves are on the ground. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I don't know where our listeners are at. Some people may be seasonal, some people may be not. Either way, Steelers fans everywhere. Miss Nation, keep them warm, keep them ready, because you're going to be waving them here moving forward. Let's go, boys. Get them rested, get them good.
Hashtag blame Canada.